Hey everyone, happy 2024. I feel like I'm finally able to give the transmission for my phrase for 2024 that I believe will support everyone in stepping into our evolutionary future. Now, I've been playing with a bunch of different phrases, and I hope that you also have a phrase that really works to align where you're headed. So, what that would mean for me is aligning your soul purpose. So, as you step more and more into your soul purpose, and you're going to get new downloads about what that is. So, if you think you know, you better better watch my transmission on your mission has changed, because Pluto's movement into Aquarius has changed everything. And what I'm hearing people say in the collective is we're in a new world, we're in a new frequency. And some people are just like looking around, wait, what's changed? Something has changed. And we don't know what it is yet. It's really the energetics. And I think we're going to feel more and more of that as it goes. So when you create a word for 2024, it should be, or a phrase, I like phrases better. It should be something that carries you forward. It's not like abundance. We all want that. But really, what are the things that you're willing to take action on, and or maybe the message you need to hear as you step into more abundance? Because certainly we are here to bring materiality, be materially abundant in the three space as we bring spirit into the body. So I'm going to draw from Human Design, Gene Keys, The Gates of the I Ching. And the gates that are being lit up for this year are gate 10 and gate 57. And so I want to presence those. Gate 10 is in the G center. That's that knowing who you are. But gate 10 is really about self-love, and not the ego version of self-love, because that's the shadow frequency. That's narcissism. That's like focusing on the external because you don't feel good enough on the internal. This is like not that. This is about feeling good enough on the internal. So what that's going to mean for many of us is doing some deep work of what's in the way of loving ourselves. What's in the way of exercising compassion as a habit, instead of the critical mind as a habit, exercising compassion as a habit. You can do that right now by every time you hear a critical thought, just shift it. Or when you hear yourself being critical with others, that is a signal that that's how you're treating yourself. So this word, this phrase that I'm going to give you for 2024 is really going to help, but I'm setting the stage and the context for that. So stay with me here. So gate 10, that's about beingness. Ultimately, the gift is beingness. So you want to be that love for yourself, that self-compassion, self-acceptance. That's really what that means. And when you're accepting yourself, you're accepting your soul assignment. You're also accepting your template. We compare templates, right? Like your template's better than mine. Mine is wrinkly, or mine's fat, or mine, I have like eyes that are this shaped, or hair that's this color. Isn't that, in a way, if we take a step back, super weird? Because we didn't choose that. We have no say on that. We incarnated, like I would say the we of who we really are had a say on that. But in that space, everything is equal. Everything is equal. So it's really bringing self-love to that kind of equanimous mind where that holds it as, yeah, this is just my template. I was saying that to the sisters in the sisterhood activation, because one of the sisters was into like all this tantric stuff. And when I look at my template from an astrology point of view, I have like Venus and Capricorn. It's just not into that stuff. And I could judge myself for it, or make myself, I should be a certain way. No, I am who I am. That's real self-love. And it took me a long time to get here, as maybe it did you too. That's what we're really, really, really going to anchor in 2024. We have to, because we can't really do the work that we're here to do if we're still not accepting ourselves. Because then, when those in the world don't like you, and there will be those who don't like you, then you're going to take it really personally and you're going to crumble and you're going to want to hide. That's not what we're here to do. Okay. So presence that. Now we get to presence that channel, the gate 57, and that is your intuition, your embodied intuition, because it's in the spleen. The spleen is this. Now, this is where we start to get the word coming forward. It's really how we deal with our fears. And this spleen is the most ancient awareness center. It's like spidey senses. It's your instinct. It's the hair on your arm, receiving data you don't really even know you're receiving. But you know the answer to something, but you're receiving it through the hair on your arm, maybe the little hairs on your face. The hair is the antenna. And, they like, it stands up when it's afraid. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. That saying comes from this awareness center that has been cultivated through eons of time, of reptiles coming out, sensing if it's okay to be out. And some of that can drive some deep, deep fears. Now, the fears in the spleen, the way we overcome the fears in the spleen, not enough time, being responsible for other people, fear that I'm going to fail, fear that I'm not recognized, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes. Like all those fears, the way we overcome them is we do the thing. We just do the thing. And so this 57 is really asking you also with gate 10, like to check in with your embodiment, because everything we're talking about is inside your physical body, in the here and now. So remember that being that we talked about, that comes from the here and now. So there's a lot of fear of the future. And this is where I'm going with this word of 2023. 2024. There's a lot of fear of the future. And that fear of the future is, in some ways completely understandable, because we are stepping into the unknown. Life as we know it is going to be and is already very different than it was. And you know what? We can't even rely on old institutions. Things that were tried and true are breaking down. They no longer serve. They no longer serve. And so they will go away. And so with all this innovation, with all this air energy, with all this changeability, we can have a really low grade or high grade sense of fear. And that fear can manifest as anger. You can find yourself really pissed off. And maybe it's because there's a low grade fear happening. Fear that you're not going to be taken care of. Fear that you're going to lose control. Fear that you don't know what the F is going on. Fear that you won't have what it takes to navigate it. Fear that it's overwhelming. Fear that it's too much. Shoo, right? We can just clear that. And that's legit, because we're humans. We are earth creatures, and we're really entering airspace. So the phrase for 2024 is faith over fear. Faith over fear. That's my phrase. And I got this really, it lit up for me. And this is how these phrases happen for me, and probably for you too, is that you'll hear something and it will light up and it will not leave you. So I was reading a trilogy on Mary Magdalene and the lineage of Mary Magdalene from Kathleen McGowan. And she was in my very first summit in 2020. I hope to bring her back in my next summit, but her main character was in this situation where her life was threatened. Her actual physical life was threatened. And what she said to herself was, wait a second, I didn't do all this studying. she was like having these internal dialogues of like sussing the situation out. And she was like, look, I didn't do all this work. Let's transpose it for our life. We didn't do all this work to come here and let fear run us. We did not. So she was like, you can't, it's binary. You can't have both. It's faith or it's fear. And then it's kind of like faith or fear, choose. Faith or fear, choose. It's just that simple. It's not like, oh, I'm going to let fear bleed into my faith, right? Or I'm going to just have a little bit of faith in my fear. No, it's like step into a new realm of possibility and choose. Faith or fear, choose. And I notice that I do that in every moment. Something comes up and every moment I get to do that. Faith or fear, choose. Oh, right. I'm choosing faith. Right? So I want that to support you. If that can be your phrase, great. Otherwise, come up with a phrase that actually is going to call you forward. That while you are stepping into the unknown, maybe your soul purpose is being realigned, reordered, reorganized, which so many of us, that's what's happening because we're totally new people. And our soul mission is coming into clarity. So take on a phrase that pulls you forward, that has you remember and wake up in that moment. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's faith or fear, or whatever it is that you choose for yourself. And may this word bring you power. May this word bring you love. May this word bring you steadfastness. May it bring you grit. May it bring you grace. Last year, my word was, I'm playing the long game. So this faith over fear is supporting me in playing the long game, because the long game isn't over just because 365 days passed. So that carries forward, but now it's faith over fear, constantly choosing, constantly choosing. All right. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video.